Yo, what's up? All right, how's everyone doing? Last night, you know what we were talking about this in the Discord last night. I feel like the bets I post the night before have done significantly better than when I add on more bets the next day. Because last night would have been a winning night if I didn't add that Bulls over the next day. Even though I liked the Bulls over. I mean, the Bulls had hit overs in 6 consecutive games by an average of 17 points. So it's not like the Bulls over was a reach. I did like it, but I just found that when I post my bets the night before, the initial looks, they tend to do better than when I add on after. Oh, shit. I didn't even realize I didn't put my contacts in. Oh, man. Well, yeah. I wear glasses. The reason I don't is because I hate how you could see the reflection of the lights in the studio in them. It looks crazy sometimes. No, I'll have a hat on later for the live show. This is supposed to be, hold on. So these handicapping streams are supposed to be, hey, I'm going to be doing this in my office anyway, so I'll just click live and you guys can look in while I do it. It's not supposed to be like, so yeah, sometimes I'm going to look kind of crazy. All right, we'll wait. I told everyone 11, so I guess we'll wait 3 more minutes. There's some good games out here tonight. Some big games. I really want to place a bet on a side here. As of right now, I'm only on the under, but I want to get on a side here. You know what? Let me run a poll. Let's see who you guys like in that one. We're just going money line. Golden State money line. Miami money line. Gun to your head. Gotta pick a winner in this game because I'm trying to place a bet just because the game's awesome. That being said, like when I don't know if you guys watched the video I uploaded last night. When I went through that game, I found like 4 or 5 angles I liked for each side. So I didn't think the handicap was overwhelmingly pushing towards Golden State or towards Miami. I think, to be honest, I was leaning Miami, but I mean, at some point, Golden State needs to start winning. Like, do we really think that this team's going to just roll over and let the Rockets take the last play in and not even make the play in? At some point, you got to take a step back and be like, can you see that happening? And I think the answer is no. I mean, there's no way Steve Kerr and Steph Curry and Draymond and these guys just don't make the play in. It's part of it is like, can I logically see that happen? And I don't think I can. Where do you search the stats you use for CBB and NBA? Well, everywhere. So these sheets that you see on the screen here in the top right, those are my personal sheets. And people that are subscribed to the website can see these on the members page. But as far as where the data comes from, it comes from all over the place. So it's not one specific site. If you're looking for just like a good site for NBA, like I get a lot of stuff from Cleaning the Glass. That's a great site. If you go to Cleaning the Glass and start looking at the stats, you'll start seeing a lot of the numbers I use. So Cleaning the Glass is good. And I'm not affiliated with Cleaning the Glass. Like, they're not paying me to say that. That's literally the site I use. But I also use a lot of other sites. There's some good stuff out there. All right, so I already went through the first. So I'm only going to be on for a second, for a few minutes. We're just going to do one game. And it's right here. It's 11 o'clock, so we can go ahead and get started with this. For Mavericks, for Kings. Another awesome game. Like, it's crazy. So many good games on tonight. I wish I had more money down. I have bets down, but just they're small bets. I'm not seeing a ton of value. Yeah, Miami is injured, for sure. All right, so Golden State. See, I knew it. People are leaning towards Golden State. You guys really like the Warriors, huh? I'm twisting up a fat loose sleeve to get me ready for this suite today. Oh, shit. 61%, 38% voted Golden State. So it looks like most of you are leaning towards the Warriors. I don't know. later on today, maybe before the live show, I'll poll the Discord and see what the Discord thinks, because I want to bet a side in that game, but I really can't make up my mind. So let's go. We're going Dallas, Sacramento, and the reason I didn't include this one in the video I uploaded last night is when I made that video, both these teams were still playing, and I know a lot of people in the industry do it, and I'm not hating on anybody that does it, but I don't know how you upload and make a pick for a game when you haven't, like, these two teams are still playing. It's like I really like if you pick like the Mavs and then the Mavs go on, like, ended up beating the Jazz by like 30, that might influence their effort for today. I don't know. I personally don't like to do it. Personal preference. So I don't include that game because I was recording it before it ended. But this is a good one here. And where do we want to start? Let's start with injuries. Appreciate the kind words, everybody. This line is at 1 now, I think. Now, it looks like the Kings laying 1. Yeah, so it looks like the Kings are laying 1 here. So let's get the poll running at Mavericks +1, Kings -1, pass. All right. Poll is running. Okay, so we'll start with injuries. Now, RotoWire, I've been getting kind of frustrated with RotoWire recently because I got some incorrect information from them for yesterday's. If you remember, RotoWire told me Covington and Melton were coming back for the Sixers, and that was not the case. They did not play. I still would have bet Philly anyway, so I'm not blaming it on that. But definitely makes me look like an idiot on YouTube giving out fake information. So this is what RotoWire has for Mavs and Kings. Looks like Josh Green's still out for Dallas. Who the hell is B. Williams? Brandon Williams. Averaging 2 points a game and a half rebound. Okay, so Josh Green's out for the Mavericks. Vezenkov questionable for the Kings. Trey Lyles out. Yeah, looks about normal. Man, Sabonis runs so many minutes because the Kings really don't have another big off the bench here. All right. So we looked at injuries. Let's look at the spot. Obviously, we know these two teams just played yesterday. We just watched the games. Kings played against the Sixers. They won and covered. And Dallas played on the road in Utah. They won and covered. So both teams coming off a win and a cover. So why don't we start by looking at these two teams' record on 0 days rest. So 0 days rest on the season. Dallas 8-3 against the spread, second best in the NBA. Sacramento 4-8 against the spread. That looks to be 25th in the NBA. So right off the bat, 8-3 ATS on 0 days rest. On the Kings side, 4-8 ATS on 0 days rest. Now, something I want to point out, and I just happen to know this. The Kings started on forehead Kyle don't miss. Yo, I'm 35. My hairline are fucked up. So Dallas 8-3 against the spread. Dallas 8-3 against the spread on 0 days rest. So something I wanted to point out here. So on the Kings side, you look at these numbers, right? 4-8 against the spread on 0 days rest, and obviously you're like, oh, the Kings suck on 0 days rest. I happen to know, just from doing this, that the Kings started out 0-5 against the spread on 0 days rest. So that means they're actually 4-3 in their last 7. So still, the Mavs have the advantage here, but it's important to take note that the Kings aren't this bad on 0 days rest. 4-8, that's not really an accurate representation. So Mavs have the advantage. Dallas has been great on 0 days rest. And someone in the Discord shared this earlier this morning. Apparently, Dallas on 0 days rest is 8-3, but Dallas on 0 days rest on the road is even better. So apparently, this has been a great spot for the Mavs this year. So we'll start there. Anything else before we get into the sheet? We did the spot. Oh, let's see who these teams have on deck. Even though this is a big game, I doubt either of these teams are looking ahead of this one because this is a big one. But we'll check just to see. Yeah, okay, so both of these teams... Oh, these two teams play again. Duh, I knew that. So these two teams play again on Friday night in the same building, right? Yeah, in the same building. So these two teams play tonight in Sacramento, 2 days off, and then they play again in Sacramento on Friday night. So I hate that personally, but let's get a look at the spreadsheet here. All right. So I'll use these at the bottom because I feel like these are easier for when I handicap. I use these and I look at last 5, last 10 full, but I feel like maybe it's hard for people to follow what I'm talking about. So I think it's better if I just use these and then we'll go look at the others at the end. So last 10 games, that's what we're looking at here. All right, so I was talking about this yesterday. The Kings defense in the last 10 has been excellent. Now, they're 24th in strength of schedule, so they're playing elite defense, but against who, you kind of have to say? Like they played Philly last night. Not that the Sixers are playing quite that terribly, but their offense isn't great. So the Kings have great defensive numbers, but take it with a grain of salt because they've been playing a relatively easier schedule. But Dallas hasn't been through the gauntlet themselves. They're only 18th. But look at the Mavs across the board here. We're talking about top 10 offensively and top 10 defensively, which is probably more surprising because the Mavs defense, if you rewind 3 weeks ago, Dallas couldn't stop anybody. So there's that. So why don't we start by looking at the Kings record against, hold on, let me pull it up. Kings. There we go. Kings versus top 10 offenses and top 10 defenses because the Mavs are both right now. Against top 10 offenses, Kings are 16-11 against the spread, so that's good. They've actually been much better against good offenses, top 10 and top 5, than they have against bad offenses. So you know what? Let's put that in the positive for the Kings. 16-11 against the spread versus top 10 offenses. So that's a solid angle here. If you like the Kings, 16-11. The Mavs obviously have been a top 10 offense all season. Kings have done much better against good offenses than they have against bad offenses, as weird as that sounds. Welcome to Kings basketball where nothing makes sense. Now let's look at the other side. Now here's where it gets a little shaky, though, because you can see Kings against top 10 defenses, 6-15 against the spread. Now, whether or not you want to call the Mavs a top 10 defense, you probably can't, but in the last 10 games, they are 7th in defensive efficiency. So maybe the way they're playing right now, we can call them a top 10 defense. At least they look like it. So we'll put that one in there for Dallas. What was that record there against the spread? 6-15 against the spread. So we'll put that in there for Dallas. That Sacramento 6-15 against the spread versus top 10 defenses. But we're going to put an asterisk next to it. Not indicating that's a huge one, indicating that we should probably be a little careful with that because we know Dallas defense has not been playing at the top 10 level for most of this season. So that one's a little shaky, a little thin, but let's keep going. All right. Pace. Kings have actually slowed down their game. I don't know if you guys have been watching Kings basketball, but they're like a defensive centralized team now. Like this team runs by their defense. They protect the rim well. They don't let you get out on the fast break. Kind of different than the Kings basketball we were seeing last year and even the first half of this year. So Kings have switched their game up a little bit. Why don't we look at the Kings when they play a top 10 team in pace? Kings versus pace. Boom. 16-8-1 for the Kings. That's a nice one because we know Dallas runs a pretty fast pace. So that goes on the Kings side for sure. 16-8-1 against the spread versus top 10 pace. Solid angle for the Kings there. Let's get back to our sheets. All right. So, yeah, that's about... you know what? We could look at the Mavs against top 5 defenses because that's how the Kings are playing. I just said they're playing in really good defense right now. So let's look at how the Mavs have performed against good defenses. So let's go to Dallas. Mavs. Okay, Mavs against top 5 defenses. Ooh, just 5-7. Now it's 5-7 is not really enough to add to the Kings side, but we could take a mental note that Dallas much more profitable against bad defenses than good defenses. Looks like the Mavs have struggled against top 5 offenses and top 5 defenses. They're much better. Mavs much better against bad teams. against the numbers. So basically the complete opposite of what the Kings are. The Kings are much more profitable against good teams. Dallas much more profitable against bad teams, or at least that's what it's been so far this year. So not a great look there for the Mavs. We're not going to add it. Scroll down. Yeah, I appreciate the kind words. I'm actually pumped that people like this kind of content because, yo, it's so easy for me. I'm doing this at home anyway. All to do is click go live and do the same exact thing I'm doing anyway. So, yeah, it's sweet that you guys like this. All right, so we're looking at Mavs offense against Kings defense in the last 10 games. Let's start right here in the 4 factors. Obviously, we know Kings defense has been excellent at contesting shots. Turnovers. Okay. So, actually, let's do rebounding first. If you noticed, edge goes to Sacramento, and this isn't new. Sacramento's been pretty good on the defensive glass all season, so tough to get second chance points on the Kings. Let's look at the Mavs against good defensive rebounding teams. Defensive rebounding rate. Okay, they're 5-3 against the spread in the top 5, 9-11 against the spread in the top 10. Really nothing there. Turnovers. Dallas protects the basketball. Kings force a lot of turnovers. So let's look at the Kings against offenses that don't turn the ball over. Because a lot of the times when you find a defense that creates a lot of turnovers, when they see offenses that protect the ball, they have a really low hit rate because creating turnovers is such an important part of their defense. So let's see if that's the case here with the Kings. No. In fact, the Kings actually have a winning record against the top 5 in turnover rate. So I thought that might have been a positive angle for Dallas. Really nothing there. And now let's look at Dallas against teams in the top 5 or the top 10 in defensive turnovers. Defensive turnover rate is down here. Look at this. Okay, this is definitely an angle for Dallas here. So what this means is you got a Kings defense that a big part of it is creating turnovers. Dallas protects the basketball. So when Dallas sees these teams that are reliant on creating turnovers, they have a very high hit rate. In fact, we're talking 66% against the top 5 in turnover rate. Now, the Kings are 7th, so they're not exactly the top 5. But still, look at the top 10, 18-10. So this definitely goes on the Dallas side. We'll just put Dallas strong versus top defensive turnover rate. So that we know Dallas has strong hit rates against defenses that create turnovers, which describes the Kings. So definitely a nice little angle for the Mavs there. Will you be doing this type of content for NCAA? Yeah, sure. The problem is I don't bet college basketball professionally. When we do those live shows, I'm just the host. So I really don't like the NBA. I'm confident I could speak on. I feel like I can confidently say I have an edge. But like, I don't mean that in any sort of flex. I meant, I've been doing this for years and I'm familiar enough with the NBA where I'm confident giving you picks, knowing that like there's more than a 50% chance they're going to win. We're going to win more than we lose. With college basketball, I really struggle. And even when I put effort into it, I have problems. Even when I get hot, I eventually just get cold. So, I'll do this kind of content, but I really don't know much about college basketball. Anyway, let's go back to the sheet here. Oh, look at this. Look at this mismatch here. Dallas, last 10 games, 6th in free throw rate. So Dallas is able to get to the foul line. Kings, hackathon. Kings sending everyone to the free throw line. So we have 2 things to look at here. We need to look at Dallas's numbers against defenses with bad free throw rates. And then we need to look at the Kings' numbers against offenses with good free throw rates. So let's start with the Mavs. Let's go to defenses with bad free throw rates. Oh, not what we wanted to see here for Dallas. Actually, just 3-6 against the spread against the bottom 5 defenses in free throw rate. That being said, they're 13-9 against the spread against the bottom 10. So really no positive, nothing there. There's not any pattern there. So now let's look at the Kings against offenses in the top 5 or top 10 of free throw rate. 5-5 against the top 5, 16-8 against the top 10, but the 5-5 against the spread in the top 5 tells me there's really no pattern there either. So on paper, this is a great matchup for the Mavs, and they still should get trips to the free throw line. But as far as has it translated into wins and losses this year betting wise, not really any patterns that I can see. So let's move on down. All right, this is a big one because we know this new look Dallas Mavericks offense is coming for the rim. Same with the Boston Celtics. I mean, the Mavs did nothing but take jump shots the entire season. And then after the All-Star break, out of nowhere, we see the Mavs attacking the basket a lot. Look in the last 10 games, 9th in frequency. 30% of the Mavs shot attempts have come at the rim in the last 10. That might be bad news because Sacramento protects the rim well. In fact, against teams that attack the basket, Sacramento's been good. I mean, that's why they own the Lakers, teams like the Wizards. I mean, well, actually, the Wizards just beat the Kings. That might be a bad example. But teams that are reliant on scoring at the basket, usually a good matchup for the Kings defense. Actually, the Kings defense across the board looks great, man. Look at their numbers against the three-point shot. Remember when the Kings were getting lit up from three? Not really anymore, man. Props to the Kings. Now, so we can look at the Dallas Mavericks numbers against top 5 and top 10 rim defenses, but it's not really going to tell us much because Dallas wasn't attacking the rim like this for a majority of the season. So, like, we can pull it up. Dallas against the top 5 defenses in rim frequency, 5 and 5. But most of these games are going to be, like I said, against when the Mavs weren't attacking the rim like that. So if we go to the Kings side, we can look at the Kings record against offenses that attack the rim a lot. And actually not as good as I thought. Just 6-6 against the number against top 5 in rim frequency. 12-13 against the number against the top 10. So really nothing there either. Nothing to really go by there. This is going to be a big part of this game. Is Dallas able to score at the rim? Look at the efficiency. They're hitting 74.4% of their shots down there. So, I mean, they're killing it at the rim, but are they going to be able to do it against a good Kings defense is a different question. So, let's keep on moving, and we get to the other side of the ball. Kings offense. Now, on paper, the edge goes to Dallas defense here. Look at EFG, 7th to 18th. Dallas has been, Dallas defense here, not Dallas offense. The Kings have not been making shots, just 18th in effective field goal percentage, and that's against a weaker schedule. Dallas has played a slightly stronger schedule than the Kings, and they're still contesting shots well. So that goes to Dallas. Offensive rebounding rate, really nothing here, kind of middle of the pack, slightly above average both. That kind of goes for the rest of these. Really nowhere to look for angles here, because these teams are pretty average. I mean, nothing to really look at there. Kind of an even matchup between the Kings offense and the Dallas defense. Let's go down to shot zones. Okay, so look at the Kings, man. Kings not attacking the rim at all, which is crazy because early in the season they were. But all right, so we can look at Dallas's numbers against offenses. I'm sorry, let's go over to offense. Against offenses that don't attack the rim. So rim frequency against the bottom 5 offenses in rim frequency, just 3 and 4 against the spread. I mean, nothing there. 3 and 4 is not enough to write it down on this list. On the Kings side, Kings against top 10, 11 and 13. Let's look at efficiency numbers for these. Rim efficiency. Here we go. So the Kings against teams that protect the basket, just 2 and 5 against the spread. The thing is, I wouldn't really call Dallas top 5. They're more top 10 range. You could see 6th and 10th. So this does look nice for Dallas. They're protecting the basket, and the Kings have struggled against elite rim protection teams, but that's against top 5. And again, I don't know if I would look at these numbers here in the last 10 games. I wouldn't call this top 5. So not really. I mean, maybe a little bit of a lean towards Dallas there, but not enough to write it on the list. Pretty middle of the pack across the board here. Not much to look at. I mean, the Kings taking a decent amount of threes, but not a lot. Mavericks are pretty solid against the three-point shot, but not elite. There's nothing else to look at in the last 10. Let's go up here. Look at some numbers in transition. Okay. All right, so this is going to be a big one here. So look at these transition numbers, and I know that this sheet was created for my eyes only, so I know when I pull this up, it's probably like, whoa. So these are Dallas transition offense, so the Dallas fast break against the Kings fast break defense. And if you notice, Mavs have a pretty solid fast break. Top 10 in frequency, top 10 in efficiency. And Kings defense, I'll show you something, by the way. Ray D'Amico asked a question about baseball. I was just working on my baseball spreadsheets last night, so I'll show you. So what the Kings do is prevent you from getting out in the fast break. They allow the fewest fast break opportunities. So we need to look at the Mavs against defenses that don't allow fast breaks. See if we can find an angle there. Boom. Just 2-6 against the spread. So Dallas, against teams that don't let you get out on the fast break, just 2-6 against the spread. I think that's enough to write it down. Dallas 2-6 against the spread versus top 5 transition defense. All right, let's make that font a little smaller so you can see it. There we go. So that's a nice angle for the Kings there. Dallas hasn't been covering against those teams that don't let you. And you can see against teams that do let you get out in the fast break, 9-3 against the spread. So this might be a nice thing to look at for the Mavs for the rest of this season. Against teams that don't let you get on the fast break, fade. Against teams that do let you get on the fast break, bet. Just something to keep like a mental note. But yeah, let's go back to our sheet. And now what about, we can look at, now the Mavs are barely top 10. So we can look at, for shits and giggles, let's look at what the Kings' numbers are against good fast breaks. But again, the Mavericks are barely top 10. So we're only looking to see if this is a crazy trend. So Kings against top 10 fast break and frequency, 11-7. Wow. Okay. So the Kings are actually great against teams that run fast breaks. Dude, I might have to bet the Kings here. I didn't realize it was going to be, look, all positive against transition frequency. Hold on. Against transition frequency, 7-5 versus the top 5, 11-7 versus the top 10. Then we scroll down to efficiency numbers in fast break, 8-3 top 5, 15-6 top 10. So against offenses that rely on the fast break, the Kings are hitting. All right, so let me add that. I really didn't plan on betting this game, but like... Okay. Those stats mean nothing. Signed, somebody who doesn't bet for a living. All right. So let's go back to our spreadsheet here. Now, I just want to glance at some last 5, last 10s, see if these teams are changing up to where they're playing. Not really anything here. Pretty much, if you look at Dallas offense, they're pretty much doing the same thing that they were in the last 10. No changing patterns there. Okay, this is actually positive for Dallas, though. If you remember, we were just talking about how Dallas is attacking the rim. Are they going to be able to score in Sacramento's interior defense? Because we were looking at numbers from the last 10. Remember, we were looking at the bottom. Now that we could see the numbers from the last 5, Kings... Look at this. Kings allowing a lot of shots at the rim, and they're back at 16th in efficiency. And that's against the 26th strongest schedule. Let's see specifically who those teams are. So the Kings are getting lit up. Okay, the Pacers are excusable because the Pacers are one of the best rim attacking teams in the NBA. But the Bulls, the Cavs, the Pistons, and the Nuggets. Now, Pacers, Bulls can score on the interior. And the Nuggets are excusable, but Pistons, damn, that's why I didn't bet this game. Because now that makes me like the Dallas a little bit in seeing these in the last 5 games. If the Kings are struggling to protect the basket, that's going to be tough. There's things I like on both sides here, but I feel like there's more I like on the Kings side. So we want to bet this game. I feel like now that we put this work in, we have to bet it, even though, just full disclosure, if I wasn't live right now and I was doing this on my own, this would be a pass because it's too even. But I feel like we should bet it just for fun because we went through it. So yeah, this is a pass for me. Let's see. You know what? Let's take a look at some pace numbers and see if we can maybe get a lean on the total. So Kings have been, and this is what we talked about before. Kings have been slowing their pace up. Look, 12th in the full season, 13th in the last 10, 20th in pace in the last 5. So maybe we get a super high total in this game, 233. Both teams on a back-to-back. Kings limit opponents' fast break opportunities. Maybe we like the under here. Let me go back to my notes to see, because I was doing everything to pick a side. Now let me look at those notes through the filter of a for total. So the Kings are 6-15 against the spread against top 5 defenses, meaning good defenses give them problems. Okay. Dallas strong. Okay. Dallas is strong against defenses that force turnovers, meaning they're not going to let the Kings force turnovers and get out in transition. That would probably point towards an under. Kings 16-11 against the spread against top 10 offenses, but I don't know. That doesn't tell us if that's because they are able to go bucket for bucket with them, or they actually are able to slow down top 10 offenses. Kings 16-8-1 against the top 10 in pace. That's most likely because they are very good at limiting opponents' fast breaks. Dallas 2-6 against, and my tickets are way bigger than yours, bro. That's not a flex. If you're nice at sports betting, you're limited at the casino. Like, flexing you have big tickets is flexing that sportsbooks look at you as a sucker. Dallas 2-6 against top 5 transition defenses, which means they're not able to exploit these good defense. I think the under is the play here. Let's bet the under. This is I'm probably not going to post this on the website. I'm going to post it on the Discord with like a disclaimer, like we just bet this because we did it on the live show. 233.5. Where's that open? Let me open it up here. Let's get the best price. All right, 233. Bet MGM, that's minus 115. Caesars, minus 110. Let's do it. Caesars. I haven't been betting on Caesars recently. Usually I get some good prices on Caesars. Not recently. I've been on FanDuel, ESPN, BetMGM a lot recently too. All right, bet placed. I'm in. I took the under. But I mean, like I said, I'm gonna post this in the Discord as like with the disclaimer, like we did it because we went live. I did it because I was on a live stream. This would be a pass for me if you're asking like what my advice is on this game. There's nothing I love. So yeah, let's bet the under. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll be back at 4 p.m. with we got Ronald Ucapper and Matt Modi at 4 p.m. We'll go through all 4 games, make our final decisions, all that like we always do. Yeah. Do I need to say anything else? No. We're good. Everyone. So people were asking. Okay, so a couple questions I said I would get to. So someone was asking about MLB. Yeah, So this is what my sheets look like for MLB for those that are interested. They're not updated for this year yet, obviously, because we have no data. But let's go to. So you pop them up. You get the starting pitcher up here. You get the batting numbers, last 14 games, last 30 games here. Bullpen numbers. You get the. These are out of order. So you get bullpen numbers. These are supposed to be up here. So as you can see, this spreadsheet is currently not active. But then you get starting pitching numbers in the last 14, last 30. And you know what? Let me show you. And then here's the score predictor at the bottom, first 5 and final score based on the handedness of the pitcher, because you have pitchers. The numbers pitchers against righty heavy lineups. Then you have lineups that hit righty pitchers well. That's all incorporated. And then check out what I'm working on here. Where's my MLB trends beta? Okay, so I'll zoom out so you can see it. So this shows me. Damn, I can't really show you this. So it shows you like if I want to see how the Red Sox hit against right-handed pitchers that have a high strikeout rate, or right-handed pitchers that have a low strikeout rate, or right-handed pitchers that walk a lot of guys, right-handed pitchers that don't walk a lot of guys, right-handed ground ball pitchers, or right-handed pitchers that don't allow ground balls, right-handed home run pitchers like that. I also have over here, I want to see how teams hit against bullpens. So this would be all their at-bats against a relief pitcher. And then against top 5 bullpens, top 10 bullpens, bottom 5, bottom 10. I also like to see. Here's the thing. With baseball, a lot of people look at the batting numbers versus righties and lefties, and that's huge. But I don't like the bullpen numbers mixed in. So I like to just see their numbers against right-handed starting pitchers. So he would be their last 5 games with right-handed starters, their last 10 games against right-handed starters, full season against right-handed starters. And those are only their numbers against the starting pitcher. Once it gets to the bullpen, it doesn't get included here. I also have pitch mix. So you can see what pitches the guy throws and what percentage he throws them. And then it shows the team. I have Chris Bassett versus the Red Sox in here as a sample. It shows the team and their hitting ranks against that particular pitch. So you can see Chris Bassett, 37% of his pitches are sinkers. The Red Sox are 26th in the MLB against sinkers. So that would be a positive angle for Bassett, but he also throws cutters and fastballs, and the Red Sox are good. So really not much there. But yeah, that's what I was building last night is this. So I'm pretty excited for baseball, but we still have a while. We're still in basketball mode. Yeah. Thanks everyone. What site is it? It's not a site. That's my personal stuff. That's not like available to anyone. This is the stuff I built on my own. Any other questions? I mean, it's only 11:30. You guys have anything else? What NBA under are you most confident in? Yo, people are calling me Drew Carey. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I'm on with Ski in 2 hours. On Ski show, 1:30. I guess Warriors Heat. But any parlay suggestion? Yeah, don't do it. Yeah, well, you're talking about for baseball, I do last 14 and last 30 for baseball, not last 15. Guy Boston, I just talked to him this morning. So I don't know. Actually, we didn't decide on a day. He's coming back on for sure, but we're also doing something. He wants to do like a podcast where we're kind of just talking about, we're doing like a podcast thing. Not like a recurring thing, but I think he's doing a podcast and he wants me to come on as a guest once or something. I don't know. He's a cool guy. So he asked me and I was like, sure, whatever you need me to do, man. Kyle, are you going bald? I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm receding a little bit. I'm 35. I'm pretty sure that's normal. Any hockey in the future? Yeah, I am adding an NHL department next season. Problem is I don't really know who, because it's tough, man. I can't host another show. So like I'll put an NBA show, an NHL show on, maybe like 3 p.m. where it doesn't interfere with the NBA or the college basketball, but I can't host it, which means I need writers, I need people, personalities to be on it that I trust and then I know do it properly. And there's a lot to it. I do want to add an NHL department, but it's not as simple as like, hey, now I have one. It's a lot. Where's Prop Beaver? He's not here yet. He'll be here probably around 2:00. Link for Steve's show. Steve. Who's he talking about? Ohio State versus Georgia. What do I think about it? I think I didn't even know they were playing. That's what I think about it. Oh, Ski show. I don't have just type in Ski Profit here. There you go. His show's on at 1:30. He comes on my show on Wednesday, and I've been going on his on Tuesday. So we kind of do like a guest for guest thing. Who do you think will win the World Series this year? Right here. No, I do think the Mets are undervalued, though. Finally, the Mets are going into a season without insane expectations. Every year the season starts, and every single Mets fan, I'm from Jersey, we have millions of Mets fans, and every single Mets fan think, like, this is the year, right? And this is finally the first year where Mets fans are like, we suck. And now watch them actually be pretty good and win, like, 95 games this year. So I think the Mets are going to be pretty good this year. Their lineup's still loaded. The pitching's a question mark, but the lineup is loaded. Yeah, Toast and the Commish did a good job on that podcast, man, for sure. What am I munching? A Nicorette gum. I haven't smoked a cigarette in like 8 years now, but I pop these things like fucking Skittles. Where Andy at? I know he's got a lock. Andy comes. I think Andy's coming in at 2 as well. They work nights, so they're here from like 2 to 11. What are my thoughts on betting live? I mean, I don't really. It's fun. I do it sometimes, but I don't know. I feel like, yeah, okay. So if the side you like starts off and goes down early, you can get a better number. But what if the side you like goes up? It seems like you're just adding another 50-50 coin flip into your equation. If you like the number, why not bet it before? But you know what? I know people that really like swear by live betting. So yeah, I would like that for them each to host their own show, but maybe in the future. Yeah, so all right. I'll Kyle, you need to get on the Reds train. I got Reds gear, man. I appreciate it, man. Never mind. Didn't read his name. Yeah, I did have a live thing in the Discord. I did something like this in the Discord. I did it as like a test. Yeah, I'm down to do that for sure. All right, I'm going to call it quits. So, yeah, I'll be on Ski's show in 2 hours, and then my show's at 4 p.m. So I'll see you guys back here in a little bit. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in.